What's up, y'all? Welcome back to WabWorks. Today we're back on the old Deere Dodger Charger here. It's had a little bit of neglect over the years, and I know exactly who to blame for that neglect.
It was me!
My wife owned this car since the day it rolled off the parking lot of the dealership. All the neglect that's been done to this car has been my fault, so I'll take the blame for that. It's got about 185,000 miles on it, and I don't ever remember changing the spark plugs on this thing, so we're going to get these spark plugs changed. We also have a PCV valve that needs to be changed because I think that's what blew out the valve cover gaskets around the edge there. It's been dripping oil straight onto the header, and that smoke comes straight up and goes straight into the air intake system for the ventilation and comes right out the vents and blows it right in your face. So we need to get that fixed because that's not a good thing to be blowing smoke, oil, burned smoke right in your face when you're going down the road. Kind of makes you tired and dizzy. It's weird. Anywho, we're going to change these valve cover gaskets out. We're going to change the spark plugs out, and this thing is a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. This thing has 2 spark plugs for every cylinder, so that's 16 spark plugs you got to change out of this thing. So we're gonna jump in and get after it. Thanks for watching. So the first thing, this thing's got a coil pack for each cylinder. And it's got 4 on each side, 4 over here, 4 over here. We're going to start by taking these coil packs off. We're going to unplug them right here, pop this bolt out, and pull them out. It's got one bolt right here and 1 bolt right there. We'll pop them out, and then that way we can get down to this valve cover. I'm also going to be changing this PCV valve, which is fairly simple. You just unscrew it ever so easily. We'll take a look at it. It don't look the greatest, and I think it's recommended you change these things like every 30,000 miles, so it's about 120 miles overdue. Nasty. And I got this new one here, and this should be in a lot better shape than the old one, and it does have some O-rings right here on bottom and right here along the top. I'm going to put a little bit of dab of lubricant on there, oil, so it'll slide down in there. So I got this one all O-rings all oiled up. We're just going to put it right down in here, but first I think I might want to look down in here and make sure there's no trash or anything that could cause some problems. Let me get a flashlight. Oh, and it looks normal, I guess. All right, we're just gonna plop this one down in there. There we go. Our next move is going to be getting these coil packs out. I lied. I want to get this out of the way so we can get a little room to work with, you know. Like I said in other videos, my wife bought this about 2 or 3 weeks after my son was born, so it does have some sentimental value to us. So we're going to try to get it running good so it'll last us a lot longer. And while I'm in here, I might as well look at this air filter to see how bad it is. Yep, I'm going to say that's good. It is not good, but we'll change that later. That's an easy fix. So the first thing we're going to have to do is remove these coil packs, and that we're going to unplug all of them, get them out of the way so we can try to get this harness up and out of the way as well. Try not to break none of this stuff. And okay, I think I got it without breaking it. let's see if we can pop this coil pack out. Yeah, there we go. Pretty clean down in there. That's a good sign. Ooh, I might have to have a longer. This isn't in the way at all either, so that's great. All right, let's see if I can get down in here. Perfect. I'm gonna do some creative thinking here. Slide that down in there. Then slide this one on there. Yeah, that should work. 13 foot-pounds is what he's supposed to be. They felt tighter than that. I'm kind of anxious to see what this is going to look like, because I just got a feeling that these spark plugs are going to be roached. Let's see what a 185,000 mile spark plug looks like. Oh, it didn't stick in there. I got a handy dandy magnet. Let's see if I can get it with that. Here we go. Wow. I mean, definitely look used. This thing don't look terrible, but it don't look good either. You can see how the electrode down there is kind of starting to round off. That's a sign of high mileage. And like I say, I'm not sure if you can see it good, but that's why we're changing them. Let's see what this other one looks like. Oops. Yeah, that one's stuck in there. Pretty much the same tune on this one. A little rounded off on the electrode on the backside, but all in all, it don't look bad. The gap looks a little big. It's supposed to be at like 43. So, yeah, I can be pleased with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop all 8 of the coil packs off, get the spark plugs out, and then start working on getting these valve covers off. There's just these bolts right along the top and the bottom, and those are probably down there going to be a booger to get out, but we're going to do it. We're going to try to do it. We got to do it. It's leaking. So we're going to put you guys on fast forward, and I'm going to knock this out real quick. Fingers crossed. Real quick. Well, we got the valve cover off, all the spark plugs out of the passenger side. We are looking at it pretty good, and if I was going to guess, right there where it's wet on the exhaust guard there, I would say that's probably where the valve cover gasket was leaking. Then the smoke would come up from here, waft in the air, and then get sucked right down in that air intake for the AC. Other than that, the valve train stuff looks pretty good. And if you see right here, it's pretty clean for 185,000 miles. But we're gonna get it all cleaned up, clean this sealing surface up right here, get some new gaskets on there, and we'll start going back together with this side. Got this little brush here. I'm gonna try to brush all the mess away from the valves and into that little crevice. Then I might get a razor blade and kind of go make sure there's nothing stuck on there. And we got a Wix filter on this thing, so if I do get a little bit of stuff down in it, it'll be okay. That Wix will get it. It's like brushing teeth. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend you brush your valve cover gasket surfaces off. So what I'm going to do is just spray this brake clean on the rag, and then take the rag and rub it down, flip it around, and do all the things. All right, and let's get all the, hopefully you get all the oil and stuff off of it. Oh, that's a hard spot to get to. Boy, they don't make these things easy to get to anymore. I remember back in the day, you could work on a V8 and sit in there with it. Of course, I was probably a lot smaller back then too. But you could just get on the fender and you could just sit in there amongst it and work on anything you wanted to work on. All right, got these cleaned up. Good enough, I think. This was the bottom side, which I think where our leak was coming from, and the gasket's kind of smushed and real smooth. It don't have any kind of ridges or anything anymore. So I think our leak was coming from down here, mostly probably around this area, a little bit up here. But we're gonna pull these gaskets out. Oof. Are you serious? Wow, it's crunchy. Yep, it's just crumbling up. Wow, look at it. That's how crunchy it is. This thing is crunchy. Look at this thing crunchy. Just popping apart. So that was definitely probably our problem. Don't forget these little guys. Oof. Trying to get these O-rings off. They're crunchy. Right in the eyeball. It's so hard. The rubber gasket is so hard, I can't tell where it starts and the valve cover ends. Wow, it's stuck in there. I'm surprised these weren't leaking, because that'd get all over your spark plugs if these were leaking, which is not a good thing. This was definitely a job that needed to be doing. Let me clean this up real quick, and then we'll start putting everything back in and back together. All right, for all you guys out there that like part numbers, I guess VS50625R is the part number for these valve cover gaskets. It's got all the valve cover gaskets, both of them, and all of the spark plug gaskets for those two. So let's open this up and get it put in there. And we're gonna just kind of stuff it in the hole here. And this, as you can see, it sticks up a whole lot more than that old one, and it's soft and you can bend it around. So I got high hopes that this is going to solve our problem here. And same thing with these two, you just kind of squish them down into the hole, and it's got a like a rounded edge, and then like you could tell really easy which goes down and which stays up. All right, we got these in. Let's go get it back on the car. Just had a light bulb go off. It's probably going to be a lot easier to go ahead and get these spark plugs in. I think I'm going to go ahead and get these spark plugs stuff them down in there real quick, and then we'll put the valve cover on. To set the spark plug gap on these things, it calls for 43 thousandths of an inch, and I'm just going to use this little El Cheapo Coino tool that everybody probably has in their shop, and it works really good. It's, you know, it's got the little numbers, and then you just slide the spark plug to the number that you want, which would be 43 thousandths for us today. And that's it. Easy peasy. Let's get these done real quick. These are aluminum heads on this thing, and you know, when you got aluminum heads, you always want to put just a little bit of anti-seize on those threads of the spark plugs, because steel and aluminum don't play well together. That way the spark plugs don't get stuck in there, because that would be a day if you break one off in there for sure. So I'm going to do that, put all the spark plugs in, then we'll get this valve cover put on. Now that we got all of them put in, we can get it back on this valve cover and see if we can wiggle it back in there. It's really tight back there in the back corner, so you really have to make sure that the gasket don't get pulled out. You got these bolts and stuff that snag that gasket and pull it out of there, so you got to be real careful when you're trying to smoosh it down past all this stuff. So what I wanted to let you know is, when you're putting this on, you always start from the center and work your way out and let it spread that gasket out too. So I wanted to stop the fast forward real quick and just mention that, because that's probably pretty important. So I got the valve cover back on there, I got the injector harness hooked back up, and now I'm about to put the coil packs back in it, but I got a little bit of dielectric grease that we're going to use, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of it in here. That'll help keep that sealed and keep moisture out, and then you just slide these back down in there. Just going to pop these back in there, bolt them down, be good to go. Make sure they go all the way down in there, and then put your bolts in and tighten her down. Should be an easy day. All right, so that'll be it on that one, and then I'm just going to do the other three, and we'll button this side up. Well, basically you do the same exact thing on the other side. So I'm gonna start on that now, and I'll come back to you with updates. All right, I promised updates, and here we go. Got this side complete. Of course, you saw me do that side. Got the valve cover gaskets changed. Got the spark plugs changed. Got the dielectric grease and coil packs put back on there. I guess we can fire her up and see if I screwed up or not. Oh yeah. Don't worry about those other lights and stuff. They've been on for like years. In other words, you're probably going to see this on the channel again eventually. We got some work still to do to it, but this was the main goal. Sounds good. It's not skipping, not busting up, not knocking, clacking, cranking. I think we're good to go. Now all we got to do is burn all the oil off the headers. Well, Best way I know how to burn this oil off of them headers and stuff is just take it for a test drive and let it get hot. Then we can let the windows down and let all this smoke and all get out of here. So let's take her around the block and see how she does. It's got 185,021 miles on it. And I know those are true miles because my wife put every single one of them on there. And it rides good, drives good, runs good. As long as we can get that smoke from coming into the cab with us, we'll be all right. I don't know what she sounded like if we opened her up. Might need to get out of the residential neighborhood first. She got up to 60 pretty quick. I don't see no extra lights coming on the dash, so that's good. Hey guys. Of course, you know, that's normal at 8 o'clock at night. Rearing down on a 5.7 liter Hemi. Around these parts, they ought to be used to that. Ride smooth, tight steering. Yeah, I get used to this old ride. Look at this interior. It's a pretty good interior for a 15-year-old car. Nice roof. Dash isn't cracked. Of course, that's all credit to Amber, my wife. She takes care of things. And stuff she can't take care of, she makes me do it. So, and I keep telling her, like, you ain't got to remind me every 6 months. I'll get around to it. You know, I still smell that oil. So let's see if we can figure out something else to try to burn that oil off.
That thing got a Hemi? Yeah. Sweet.
Huh. Well, now it just smells like rubber smoke instead of oil smoke. That's better. At least we got everything done that we wanted to get done to this thing so far. On the earlier videos, we got the nose fixed and the radiator and all that stuff. And now we got the oil leak stop, hopefully, because those gaskets were pretty rough. Got it tuned up for the first time in 185,000 miles. And we got the PCV valve changed. So we're doing good on it. This is a good little car. And I love it. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of this car on the channel here soon. We still got some stuff we want to do to it, and if y'all got any ideas that might make this thing even cooler, let me know. We might do some other stuff, so put it down in the comments and let me know if you want to see some different stuff to try on this car and do stuff to this car. But I think that's going to do it for this video, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.